So let me ask you, is ammo too expensive? Is it just too hard to get to the range? Or do you just want to improve your shooting? If you answered yes to any of those questions, this video is definitely for you, so stay tuned. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm gonna do another Warrior series, and here's why. I had a company to send me a product which is called Mantis X Elite. This is a shooting performance system that helps improve your fundamentals of your shooting. This is a dry firing or a live firing shooting enhancement system. The great thing about this thing, it can go on your pistol, it can go on your rifle, it can go on a shotgun. And if you have the Mantis X Elite, it also go on anything you're doing for archery. So it'll go on your bow, your crossbow, your compound bow. It's pretty cool. So this is designed to give you real-time feedback on how you're actually shooting, the things that you're doing well, and the things that you're not doing so well. It will help you to improve things that you hadn't even thought about. How well you're doing, how it's performing, how your grip is on your handgun. It just gives you all kinds of real-time data that helps you improve your shooting. So what it's really good at doing is it helps to see the movement that you have before, during, and after your shot. So it's gonna detect all of that movement. It definitely shows you your strengths and your weaknesses. Like I said, Mantis X sent me this to do a review on, and also to use to see how I like it and what it does for me. Being a retired infantryman, I know a lot about training individuals to shoot better. And so I wanted to see how this is gonna work for me to even improve my shot. So when you open up the box, you're gonna see that it comes in a nice carrying case that you could take with you wherever you're going. It has a couple of different things in there. It has the Mantis X itself. It is a little laser that goes on your firearm. A little sticker. It has the charging cable. This is a rail system here to add to your shotgun. All right, so how do you use this thing? The first thing you have to do is actually download the app. It's really easy. You go into the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, search for Mantis, and as you can see on the screen, it's this one right here. Just download it. So you have to sign in with your information, and you're able to get a couple of different profiles depending on which weapon system that you want to use it on. So with the Mantis X Elite, it comes with this universal rail system that you can add to your magazine. So for what I'm going to be using today, just as a demonstration, I have my Glock 43X. It is empty. I am using the tap wrap rounds, so that way it allows my slide to move forward even though I don't have a round in there. My weapon is clear, and so I will be using this. I can also add it to, this is the real cool thing, you can add it to anything that has an MOS. So onto the rail system here. The thing about the Mantis laser, it is designed for the little bit wider handguns or the AR that has Picatinny rails. So on my Glock 43X, since this is a smaller frame, I used the adapter and added it to a magazine. So all you do, it has this little switch here in the front. You just pull it down and it slides right on. You lock it in place and you just hit the power button. So now that it's powered on, all I have to do is hit connect, and it's actually going to connect to the system. And then you'll see it, a solid green light. You know then that you're connected. So now that it's connected, looking in the app, it is so neat. There are so many different types of drills that you can do. You can draw from a holster. It has different scenarios which are in there. It even has different marksmanship courses that you can take to as you progress into using the app. So if you go to their website, you'll see that they have a couple of different models. The Mantis X Elite is the highest model that they have, and it has all of the options that you need. To get the best bang for your buck, the Mantis X10 Elite is the way to go. So now that you're on the app, you've got it open and you're able to scroll through, you can actually choose a drill and you can go through it. And so I'm going to show you that real quick, what it looks like. So in this particular instance, I'm just going to select the Mantis benchmark. So once you start, all you have to do is pick a point of reference. So during my training, what I did, I had a target on the wall and I just used that as a point of reference, because what the Mantis X Elite is going to do, it is going to track your movement from, let's say if you're using the holster, it's going to track the time that you pull it out of the holster, you acquire the target, your movement as you're getting your sights onto the target itself, when you squeeze the trigger, and then the immediate time after you allow it to reset. That is what it's going to track. And it does actually a phenomenal job. See real-time information on how you're shooting. Let me show you what this looks like real quick. Since I have the Mantis X Elite benchmark up, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose a point of reference, and I'm just going to shoot some shots. And what I'm going to do is just show you how it registers in the system. So for this one, it's just 10 shots. And what you do is you just shoot, charge your handle, get a good sight picture, and it's going to tell you all the information on how to correct your shot. So I'll show you that here in a second. So we're just going to take some shots. I'm just going to shoot. We're just going to see how it goes. I'm going to do some funky hand holding so I can see the difference. That one was really bad because I didn't even have my hand right. It measures all of that. If I jerk the trigger, it's going to show that. If I squeeze properly, it's going to do that. And we're just going to keep going through. Let me do a couple. A little bit better. See how it registers. And what it's going to do. So at the end, it gives you a total score of what you did. And so now you can actually look into each one and see how well you did. You can see how it traces the round. The blue is actually the movement before you actually fire. The yellow is when you have your finger on the trigger and you're getting ready to squeeze, and the red is after. You can go through and look at each one on this screen. It will actually show you how or what mistakes that you made. So what you do is you touch one of them and it shows you, for this instance, the top one, how it's breaking my wrist up. It gives you instructions on actually how to correct that. Looking at another one, this one I was pushing forward. So if you're moving forward as you're firing, you're anticipating the recoil. That's another one. And like I said, it just goes through. This one's tightening the fingers. It shows you exactly what you're doing wrong in there. This thing is, in my opinion, this is a phenomenal shooting system on how to make corrections on what you're doing well and what you're not doing well. The Glock 43X is my first handgun with a red dot on it. If you've never used a red dot before, it can be a little challenging to use when you first use it. And if you are cross-eye dominant like I am, it also may be a little bit of a challenge. So what this was able to do, this shooting system, and so it actually helped me just get used to firing my firearm with the red dot, where I could move it up, acquire the target. The red dot is in my sights in a much faster time than what I did when I first started. So you may ask me, how did this actually help me? So first and foremost, it actually drilled down some of the fundamental mistakes that I was actually making, especially with the red dot, as I was just talking about. And for this one is my Glock 19. I also have the tap wrap rounds in here. Weapon is cleared. And so the major difference that it helped me figure out was that when I'm shooting, I practice with both of these every day. For the Glock 43X for 15 straight days, and the Glock 19, I practiced with it for 10 days. And so what it really helped me figure out is the difference between these two. If you see the that both of these are, the Glock 19 is a little bit wider than the Glock 43X. And so being able to shoot, I realized that I shoot much better with the Glock 19, even though it has iron sights. The difference is that this is thicker. I have a pretty big hand. And so my hand actually wraps much better and fits better around the Glock 19. And so I was able to shoot a little bit better. But with the practice of shooting this every day, I understood that I am now a lot more comfortable with the grip that I have to have on the 43X. Long story short, I was able to understand how to grip this much better. I trained with the Glock 43X for 15 days straight. I put 1,000 rounds, simulated dry fire rounds, through this Glock 43X. And then for 10 days, I trained straight with the Glock 19, and I put 650 rounds to it. So all in all, that's 1,650 rounds that I was able to dry fire that I didn't have to go to the range. And so some of you, on those days where you want to go to the range, especially if you buy a new firearm, you want to go fire that thing as soon as possible, and you should. But it all goes back to those 3 questions that I asked in the very beginning. Is it that you don't have the ammo, you don't have time to go to the range, or it could be the weather? If you like shooting outdoors and you can't go, this actually helps fill the bill of actually going to the range. Those 1,650 rounds that I was able to put down, I want to show you, I did up a little bit of math, and these are based on the average of what it is today. So I looked at the average round of how much it costs per round right about now. And the few places that I shop, it was like 25 cents a round for a 9mm. So at 1,650 rounds of the 15 days that I used to fire, I would have saved $412.50. That's just on the ammo itself. That's quite a bit of money that I saved. I also would have had to go to the range those 15 days. I could have shot, a bunch in one day, but to have 15 days of going to the range using my military discount. So it's like $10 per day when I go to the particular range that I go to. I would have saved $150 just for range fees. Then gas. Y'all know gas is just kind of crazy. It goes up and down right about now. But at the time that I'm filming this, the gas for my vehicle, which I have to use the mid-grade, would have been $3.42 in my area. I would have saved $23.97. You can round it up to $24 if you want. But all in all, just for those 15 days on those 2 different weapons, I would have saved $586.47. That is a huge savings. And you look at the price of the Mantis X Elite, I would have been able to pay for almost 2 of those. And so if you ask the question, is the Mantis X Elite worth it? Absolutely. If you look at what I just said on how much I saved, this shooting system is so detailed in everything that it does. It is phenomenal. I would just say this. If I would have had to purchase this on my own, I absolutely would have. I tell you what, I recommend this to anybody. I want this to be an honest review, and I will tell you this. So there are 2 things that you can find that may be, I guess, negatives. One, and it doesn't happen very often. I only had it happen probably 2 or 3 times. I fired a round, simulated round, dry fire, and it didn't register. I will attribute that for maybe something happening with the Wi-Fi, because like I said, out of the 1,650 rounds, it probably only happened twice. But the major one that I noticed, that is, if you're live firing and you're live firing indoors, that's when I found that it did not register correctly quite a bit. Here's what happened. I was between two weapon systems. One, it sounded, I mean, it was loud. So I don't know if it was a 300 blackout or what. It was pretty loud. And then another one next to me, the guy was shooting an AK. And so the reverberation of those were actually registering hits or rounds like I was shooting, and I wasn't even firing. So I will tell you this. This is probably better if you're live firing outdoors, because you don't have that reverberation in that close proximity of shooting next to somebody else. You will have that loud sound, but I believe that it allows it to carry a little bit more if you're outside. Inside, in this particular range that I'm in, it is always really loud. I don't mind the loud sounds of indoors. The Mantis X did not register correctly for me in there. So that's the one thing I will say, and that's the only thing that I will say negative about this thing. Other than that, guys, I tell you what, I recommend that you go pick this thing up. This is a phenomenal performance shooting system. I would tell you that. This is me shooting my Glock 19. This is the result the day before I started using my Mantis X Elite. As you can see, the shot group isn't too bad, but the one on the right, as you can see, this is the same Glock 19. It's the same number of rounds. It's the same distance. After training and getting the fundamentals down on that particular handgun, I think the result speaks for itself. This image here is me rapid firing. After I did all my training, I went out and did rapid fire. So the headshots that are up there, that is my Glock 43X with my Vortex Defender red dot. In the body section, that is a combination of my Glock 19 and my Glock 43X. Guys, the result speaks for itself. There's nothing that I fudged. That is just me shooting. I will continue to train with this. I am now going to move it over and train on my Kel-Tec Sub 2000. And I'm also going to add it to my AR9 that I've had for a couple of years. And I'm just going to train with it as well. Every one of us that has a firearm, you actually have a responsibility to know your weapon system, to perform with it very well, and know how it fires. The more you train, the better you are, the safer everybody else is that is going to be around you. Each one of us as American citizens, we should be ready at any given time to help defend this great country. Guys, if you have a different shooting system that you use or a different dry fire system that you may use, leave a comment below because I want to see how everybody else is training out there. So I'll leave a couple of guys that I actually follow in the description below. So if this video helped you guys, do me a favor, put a comment below and tell me, what you think of it. If you like seeing me do videos like this, leave a comment below also, so that way I can do other videos like this. If you don't like me doing these videos and you just want me just doing straight fishing, put that down below also. It really helps me out to be able to provide the right content for you. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you've never subscribed before, go ahead and subscribe. It really helps me out. And then share my channel with others so they can see the type of content I'm putting out. All right, guys, until next time, remember, God loves you. God bless you. May He keep you. Peace.